All right, thank you guys. Merry Christmas to you, and welcome to Brock Page Productions. I'm your host, Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you really end up enjoying this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by hitting that like button. And if you haven't already joined the Brock Page delegation, please feel free to do that right now by tapping that subscribe button below. Now, we got ourselves a nice slate of Christmas Day action here in the NBA. We got it all fired up, ready to go on the big screen behind me. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm talking about the Pelicans taking on the Heat, 12:10 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Miami. The Heat's -5 with the total at 226, juice to the under. Now, we're 3-1 with a push in our last 5 board member tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also hitting at 64% our last dozen board member picks in that same category. And if you want to join the community of over 775 handicappers that are signed up and active on that page, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, when it comes to this Pelicans Heat contest here, the New Orleans Pelicans are plus 175 for some money line cash. Now, the Pels got off to a real nice start in their season opener, and that was a 14-point victory over the Toronto Raptors. They looked great in that contest. Having said that, though, it's been very difficult to beat Miami on their home court over the past couple of seasons. A lot of teams have experienced that. Miami winning nearly, over 70% of their games at home over the past couple of seasons. And the Pels, they failed to cover the point spread in 8 out of their last 10 meetings with Miami. Now, New Orleans has also failed to cover the number in 9 out of their last dozen meetings with the Southeast Division. So, once again, early in the year, I said it the other day, we use a good amount of historical trends early in the season here before we really start diving into the hard analytics and statistics. But anyway, they're taking on a Miami team who got off to a sluggish start in their opener themselves. They lost to a much improved Orlando squad. Miami's, they have garnered some recent success over the Southwest Division. The winners of 15 out of their last 20 ball games in that category. Now, despite the loss, Bam Adebayo looked pretty good in the season opener. Once again, despite the loss, 25 points, 11 boards, and 4 assists for the big man. Meanwhile, Goran Dragic scored 20 off the bench, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and a steal for the guard. Now, Miami successfully covered the number in 4 out of their last 5 meetings with a Western Conference opponent. And when it comes to the total on this one, both of these competing teams here in this game saw their season openers stay well below the total of 226 points respectively. I'm going to lean toward the Miami Heat -5 and the under 226. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for NBA basketball here on Christmas Day 2020. Once again, Merry Christmas to you. Hopefully you're in a casino right now gambling on a holiday away from your family. I would love that. I think that would be great. But anyway, before we dive into some more free content, just got to quickly remind you once again, guys, that we're 3-1 with a push in our last 5 board member tier package picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also hitting at 64% in our last dozen picks in that same category. And just remember, guys, when you sign up for a membership on Patreon, you get access to all the lesser expensive memberships absolutely free. When you sign up for one of my memberships on Patreon, you instantly get access to all the lesser expensive tiers absolutely free. The cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. And for those who are maybe wondering what the difference is between my free picks here on YouTube and my Patreon site, what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you as I break down the daily card and focus in on just 3 to 4 premium selections per day. We're not handicapping every single game on the board. We're focusing in on 3 to 4 premium picks per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. Sometimes we bet a little bit more, sometimes we bet a little bit less, but generally it's 3 to 4 premium selections per day. And I'll tell you this much, I'm having a lot more success betting on games that way versus wagering on every single game on the slate, side and total, like I do here with my free leans on YouTube. Now, there is a tutorial video right on the Patreon homepage that shows you how to easily navigate the site. I'll tell you this much, if I can run the site, you can navigate it. But anyway, we currently have a community of over 775 handicappers that are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, I'd love to have you. Link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And moving on, we're going to take a look at the Warriors versus the Bucks, 2:40 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Milwaukee. The Bucks are the 9-point favorite. Total's 232 flat. Excuse me. And if you like Golden State in an upset, they're plus 350 for some money line cash. Now, the Warriors kind of looked the same way they did last season. Really got dismantled by an excellent Brooklyn Nets team the other night. The Warriors shot a dismal 37% from the field, and they gave up 125 points defensively. As a matter of fact, Golden State let the Nets shoot 43% from beyond the arc against them. Now, they're taking on a Bucks squad who dropped 121 points in their season opener against Boston. The Bucks were over 51% from the field, 40% from downtown. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 35 points against the Celtics, 13 boards and 2 blocks. Meanwhile, Chris Middleton really lighting up the box score himself. He scored 27 points along with 14 rebounds and 8 assists. The Bucks have won 9 out of their last 11 against the Pacific Division. And when it comes to the total in this one, Milwaukee saw their game with Boston fly 20 points above the posted number for that contest. Meanwhile, the Warriors on the other side once again gave up 125 points to the Nets in their opener themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Milwaukee Bucks -9 and the over 232. All right, next matchup I have for you should be a good one. I'm talking about the Nets versus the Celtics, 5:10 p.m. Eastern start time in the Garden. The Nets are the 2.5-point favorite on the road. Total is 228 flat. The Celtics are plus $120 to win it at home. And as good as the Celtics have looked offensively, well, as good as they looked in their opener offensively, defensively they allowed 121 points along with 40% shooting from beyond the arc. And as bad as the Nets have been in recent time, the Celtics have still failed to cover the point spread in 6 out of their last 10 head-to-head meetings with Brooklyn. And speaking of the Nets, they steamrolled Golden State in their season opener by 26 points. And to be honest with you, it wasn't even that close. The Nets dropped 125 points and shot 43% from downtown. Kyrie Irving dropped 26 points along with 4 rebounds and 4 assists. Meanwhile, Kevin Durant scored 22 in the opener along with 5 boards and 3 assists. The 6'10 forward also had 3 steals defensively and a block. And when it comes to the total in this one, Boston's opener with the Bucks once again flew 20 points above the posted number for that game. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Brooklyn Nets -2.5 and the over 228. All right, next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Mavericks versus the Lakers, and that's going to be an 8:10 p.m. Eastern start time. The Lakers are the 6-point favorite at home. Total's 227.5. Now, the Lakers did lose to the Clippers in their season opener. Just 109 points they scored in that contest. And in addition to failing to cover the number in that game, the Lakers let the Clippers shoot nearly 48% from the field. Now, Los Angeles is taking on a Dallas squad who, to be honest with you, they had a rough go of things in their opener themselves, but they looked fairly sound defensively, allowing just 106 points in that game. Now, Luka Doncic scored 32 points against the Suns, 8 rebounds and 5 assists for the 6'7 shooting guard. And Tim Hardaway scored 12 points himself, along with 4 rebounds and a steal. Now, these guys will be much more improved once they get completely healthy and have all their pieces back on the court. But I still think they have enough talent with this, lineup here on Christmas to keep it within 6 points. Now, total-wise, the Mavs are 1-0 to the under officially. Of course, that Suns game fell 24 points below the posted number. Meanwhile, the Lakers, once again, they were only able to score 109 points against the Clippers themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the underdog Dallas Mavericks +6, keeping that one close, and the under 227.5 in that game. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Clippers-Nuggets, 10:40 p.m. Eastern start time in Denver. The Clippers are the 1.5 point favorite on the road. Totals 224 flat. And if you like the Nuggets in a slight upset at home, they're plus 105 to win this one outright. Now, despite their opening day loss, the Nuggets looked excellent on the offensive end of the court. 122 total points they scored against Sacramento, 48% shooting from the field. Nikola Jokic scored 29 points in that contest, 15 rebounds, and 14 assists for the 7-footer. Now, the Joker also had 3 blocks on the evening as well. Meanwhile, Michael Porter Jr. also had a solid game offensively, 24 points for the forward, 5 rebounds, and a couple assists for MPJ as well. Now, Porter also had 2 steals and 3 blocks defensively himself. Now, they are taking on a Clippers team who look very good. They got a great roster, ton of talent. They looked very good in their opener against the Lakers. Don't get me wrong. We're not going to deny that at all. Having said that, though, Denver, always a tough place to play. I think the players have a tough time adjusting to the altitude. And the Lakers, they were able to go 47% from the field against the Clippers in that season opener. And the Clips have also failed to cover the point spread in 6 out of their last 10 meetings with the Nuggets. Plus, this is a spot I think we're going to see a lot of public money just pounding the Clippers. So if you want a different play, if you want to go against the public, Denver might be the call. Now, total-wise, a contrarian play. Sorry, couldn't think of it. But anyway, total-wise, both squads saw their season openers get over the posted number respectively. I'm going to lean toward the Nuggets plus 1.5 and the over 224. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are hitting at 64% our last dozen board member tier package picks. I like Miami -5 under 226. I like Milwaukee -9 over 232. I'm leaning toward the Brooklyn Nets -2.5 over 228. I also like the Dallas Mavericks +6 under 227.5. And last but certainly not least, please give this video a thumbs up right now if you enjoyed it by smashing the like button. Give me the Denver Nuggets plus 1.5 in the over 224. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs. And from our YouTube platform, shout out to Howdy Y'all, Vernon Williard, Lionel Kicks, Tylo, David Parks, Kevin Taylor, Packers Goat, Wildman Samurai, Darius McNeil, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my good friend, Roy Munson. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind we bill you the day you sign up, and then the first of every month following that. Also got to remind you that if you buy a package here today, just keep in mind that all the lesser expensive memberships are included absolutely free with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Thursday to you, happy Christmas Eve to you, or Merry Christmas to you if you're watching this on Friday. Let's just wrap it all up. Merry Christmas to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.